Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Atlantic Council Executive Vice President Damon.
Good morning, Mr. Prime Minister, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. On behalf of the Atlantic Council family and our Cyber Statecraft Initiative, I'm delighted to welcome you to the first edition of this conference, a new initiative for Poland, a future global leader in securing the fourth industrial revolution. Please join this conversation throughout the on-the-record proceedings over the next 2 days using the hashtag #ACCyber, Atlantic Council Cyber, and hashtag #StrongerWithAllies. Before we begin today, I want to acknowledge the death of the mayor of Gdansk, Paweł Adamowicz. The Atlantic Council and our family extends condolences to his family and to all the people of Poland during this tragedy. Let me ask that we take just a moment of silence to start to show our respect. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank all of you for joining us. It's a real privilege to be joined by some of the best and brightest leaders from government, private sector, and the cybersecurity space in Poland, Europe, and the United States. I want to start by thanking our partner for the summit, PKO Bank Polski, and in particular the President of the Management Board, Mr. Zbigniew Jagiełło. Thank you very much. We're here because of Mr. Jagiełło's vision of the importance of cybersecurity and innovation for the future of Poland and the transatlantic relationship. With his leadership, PKO and the Atlantic Council are forging an arc of programming to deepen U.S.-Polish transatlantic ties by developing cybersecurity as a key pillar of the U.S.-Polish relationship. Our work aims to build lasting relationships, spark new ventures, and help a global audience understand what modern Poland has to offer. I also want to thank the PKO BP team for their efforts to co-organize this event. You've been tremendous colleagues of our team, which was spearheaded by Clara Jordan, director of our Cyber Statecraft Initiative, represented on the ground by our board of director Maciej Wituski and our representative Michał Kobosko, and reinforced by distinguished fellow Ambassador Dan Freed and our senior vice president for security and strategy, Barry Pavel. I want to offer a particular word of welcome and gratitude to Prime Minister Morawiecki for joining us today. His leadership and his efforts to promote innovation, research, and development have contributed to the security and prosperity of Poland, strengthening Poland's position as a leader in the cyber industry and bolstering the opportunities for U.S.-Polish ties. Mr. Prime Minister, we're delighted that you can join us. We're eager to hear from you today. Ambassador Freed will offer a more complete introduction shortly. I also want to acknowledge some colleagues who traveled with us. General Keith Alexander, former commander of U.S. Cyber Command, and former Homeland Security Advisor Tom Bossert. Thank them for traveling to Warsaw to be with us. General Alexander and Tom Bossert have been instrumental in driving U.S. cyber policy, working with Poland, and are close friends of the Council. And finally, I want to thank the rest of the talented speakers for joining us. They're going to share their knowledge, their experience with us over the next couple of days, and we're looking forward to this. And I want to close by giving just a little bit of background about why the Council is working on these issues today. The Atlantic Council was founded on the premise that a vibrant transatlantic relationship is foundational to a secure and prosperous world. The transatlantic partnerships that formed over the course of the 20th century laid the groundwork for today's free world. And as a result of those efforts, we've seen tremendous growth in security and in prosperity around the world. The path ahead, however, is challenging. It's full of roadblocks, uncertainties, and these include new threats to the international order, rising challenges to democratic capitalism, significant shifts in major power relations, and fundamental questions about how the West, its leaders, its people, would define and execute their role in the world. However, we know that in these historic moments, it's leadership from the United States and Europe, with Poland at the forefront, and democratic forces around the world that is critical. The need for leadership extends beyond military and security spheres. It applies directly to the digital world as well. And that's why the Atlantic Council has been committed to fostering greater connections with our friends and allies on cybersecurity and innovation issues. Through the projects we build, the ideas we promote, the communities we build, We're committed to our mission of promoting constructive U.S. engagement alongside our friends and allies to secure the future. So today's conference will explore cybersecurity issues that underpin Poland's ongoing digital transformation in 3 tracks: policy, innovation, and private sector leadership. This conference is part of a body of work that further deepens the Atlantic Council's commitment to Poland, an important ally of the United States, and celebrates the last 100 years of U.S.-Polish relations since Poland regained its independence. Over this turbulent century, Poles have become known for their courage and their love of country. Many in the transatlantic community recall the sacrifices that Poles made during World War II after their country was occupied. Polish pilots under the British Royal Air Force accounted for 1 in 5 of the fighter pilots to take the skies during the last days of the Battle of Britain. Polish infantrymen and sailors formed the Polish armed forces in the West and fought alongside allies in critical battles in Italy and France. Yet Polish courage is not the only attribute that modern Poland can be proud of and build on from its past. Rather, it's Polish innovation and ingenuity in the area of cyber. These are key attributes we aim to spotlight and develop through our new initiative. Henryk Maduski, for example, developed the prototype for the walkie-talkie for the U.S. Army in 1941. Before today's conference, we're building on the legacy of 3 brilliant mathematicians that you'll hear more about today. Marian Adam Rejewski and his colleagues Jerzy Ruzicki, Henryk Zagalski. These 3 cryptanalysts, recruited from Poznan University to work at the Polish Cipher Bureau, reconstructed the Nazi German military Enigma machine in the 1930s. It's their work that enabled the British to begin reading German encrypted messages at the start of World War II, to share that with their American allies. It's this intelligence that formed and what contributed perhaps decisively to victory in the war. So it's that legacy that we consider cybersecurity challenges and digital opportunities today. Cyber has the potential to be a major pillar of cooperation between the United States and Poland, our governments as well as our private sector. Through our own work, we've identified Poland and its neighbors as having the most to benefit if they can succeed in developing their digital economies. Greater digitalization is poised to add another 1% of GDP growth per year to Central Europe. And Poland's human capital is its strength. Poland already ranks the top 5 among OECD members in terms of educational attainment and leading in STEM education. Digitization can be the next driver of sustained growth for the region, and the countries in the 3 Cs initiative are uniquely positioned to capture this opportunity, which is why we're committed to building out the digital pillar of this initiative. Spearheading all of our work on Poland and the region at the Council is Ambassador Dan Fried. Most of you in this room don't need an introduction to Ambassador Fried, given his long-time commitment to Poland and the decades of his career that he spent bolstering U.S.-Polish ties. First, as Polish desk officer for the Department of State, and later as U.S. ambassador. Ambassador Fried is an architect of America's strategy after the defeat of communism to advance a Europe whole and free and to enlarge our alliance. He served as Special Assistant to the President, Assistant Secretary of State for Europe, U.S. Sanctions Coordinator across numerous administrations. Simply put, Dan Fried is one of America's greatest strategists. He was not only my boss at the National Security Council, but someone who's inspired my work throughout my career. He's been instrumental in driving our work forward with our Polish partners. Let me invite him to the stage to introduce the Prime Minister.